One thing about living with a physical disability and the limitations that it poses on my body is it's very, very difficult to do super common everyday things. For the vast majority of people, they often take for granted being able to do simple tasks, opening jars, things of that nature. They don't even think twice about it, when for somebody like me, it can actually be a bit of a struggle, or honestly more than a bit of a struggle. Because I believe in full transparency and being completely real on this channel, not only have we already talked about my body and what parts of my body don't work properly. If you missed that video, go ahead and click that link to see that, or wait until we're done here and then go watch that video. But today we're going to talk about 5 super duper common things that you do every day without even thinking about it, things that I genuinely struggle to do. Like, frustratingly so. Really easy things that I watch my husband do without the blink of an eye. It doesn't even faze him that it could be complicated for me to do, and I'm the one sitting here struggling and cursing under my breath as I do these things. Now, to be fair, I have adapted all of these things, or most of them. Sometimes me accomplishing these things just plain out of the question. Doesn't work, need to ask for help. And that's totally fine. Let me be clear. Asking for help is okay. But for some of the other things, I have found my own way to retain my independence in these activities, but they're kind of bizarre, not gonna lie. But before we dive into my 5 everyday tasks that are a struggle, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Brianna, and I am the diva behind The Disabled Diva, and I am so glad you are here clicking on this video today. I am 36 years old, and I am living with Charcot Marie Tooth disease, or CMT for short, which is a peripheral nerve disorder, and I have type 1B. Okay, let's talk about it. The 5 things that I struggle with. What's great about this video and putting out this content on this channel is, while there are some of you out there that don't have this disability and you're watching to learn more, you're gonna sit there and go, seriously? That kind of stuff is a struggle to you, but then there's going to be a subset of you who are here because you have a disability, and some of you might sit there and nod along being like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone, I can't do that either. Solidarity, my friend, I am with you. So as strange as some of this stuff might sound, I promise you, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not lying, these things are a genuine struggle. Starting with reaching for things. You should see me try to get something that's just a little bit too high in one of my kitchen cabinets. It's absurd, and quite frankly, sometimes it's a little bit dangerous. As I explained in my broken body video, I can't lift my arms up over my head, so you could imagine if I don't have the ability to fully lift my arms up over my head, or the ability to straighten my arms, reaching is a little bit complicated. It was very, very recent, like we're talking within the last week or so, that I've actually for the first time brought to my consciousness what things would be like, what specific motions that I was doing in real time would be like if my arms could straighten, if I could actually reach things like a normal person. For example, I got in the car and went to close the door, and I had to reach, and it was a little bit hard for me to grab something to pull the door closed. And it dawned on me just then, if my arms straightened all the way, I wouldn't be having this problem. That would not be nearly as difficult as it just was for me. And now that I'm on this topic, I wasn't even talking about reaching horizontally, reaching for something on the same plane. But now that I'm speaking about it, it's complicated in that direction too. I was reaching for something under the table, and I was like, you know, if I just had those extra couple of inches, this would be a piece of cake. But no, it's a struggle for me simply because my arms do not straighten. But that wasn't the point. The point was reaching things up high over my head, a la the kitchen cabinet. I really struggle with that because the motion, the complexity, the whole 9 yards. And it is something that, like, my husband could just walk in and be like, oh yeah, that thing on the 3rd shelf, no problem, let me get that, without thinking. And it baffles my mind every single time. Okay, this next one, I feel like even people who are not disabled might agree with me on, and that is, what is up with the zipper top bags? Like Ziploc bags, but all of them. Ziploc bags are actually of higher quality than some of the cheaper general use options out there. You guys should see me trying to fight with zipper top bags. It is ridiculous the amount of time that I spend trying to reseal resealable bags. Like, they're literally marketed as resealable, and I can't freaking reseal them to save my life. Now, to be honest with you, sometimes I can't open them either, but it's more likely that I can open them and then not close them again. And here's the thing. I've seen zip top bags out there with zippers. Little plastic things that you zip right across and it solves the problem, right? Or now they have this newfangled technology where it's actually like a Velcro close instead of that, get that little line right into the perfect spot, right? We have the Velcro close and we have the zipper close. Why aren't those like common practice for accessibility purposes? Why? Why does any zipper resealable, let me advertise this as coming in a resealable bag product, not have the Velcro close or the zipper close? It is unnecessary to make such crummy quality zipper things that I can't do them. And like I said, there are probably some of you non-disabled people that are actually like, well, actually I struggle with that too. And yes, so live in solidarity with me for a moment, because I feel like there's a solution that nobody's actually taking advantage of. And yes, it might cost like half a penny more per product, but y'all, I would pay for that. I would pay extra money for the product. Like if they had the same brand, right? And it was a nickel more expensive to get the resealable container that I could actually reseal with ease if it is a product that I use every day or multiple times a day, I'd pay it. I'd pay it every single time. Because if I can't close it, then what good is the resealable bag to begin with? Y'all should see me. Y'all should see me suffer from this resealable bag business on a daily basis. The next thing that I really struggle with, that I encounter on a daily basis, is squeezable bottles. My hands have virtually no strength to them, and particularly my pinching muscles, right? When I pinch, I automatically go to like the nail grab because this motion is where I have the most leverage. If you told me to pinch and squeeze something like this, I could not do it. Not with any sort of efficiency or effectiveness anyway. And then when I do have to squeeze something, sometimes you might see me cock my thumb in because the pinchers don't work, but I can create a little bit more leverage using the side of my thumb instead of the pincher of my thumb. But things like this is a bottle of contact solution, or saline solution technically, and this is what I use every single day. I use saline solution, I use contact solution, and they all come in these hard difficult to squeeze bottles. Shampoo bottles, all of the things. Think about how many different bottles, lotion bottles, shampoo bottles, face wash bottles, product bottles, contact solution bottles. Think of the amount of squeezable bottles you interact with in a day, right? So I can't do that. I am a failure at being able to squeeze things. So here's my modification. Picture with me, if you will. You don't have to picture because I'm about to do it. I use the side of my face to squeeze a bottle. Yes, I do. I do it in the shower. I do it when I'm doing my contact lenses. I do it without thinking because that is the adaptation that I have made over the last 36 years of my life. I do it without thinking. So to somebody who doesn't really know me, just to sit and watch me interact with the world, it would look very bizarre, right? But to me, it's literally second nature, and I do it without thinking. So if I was holding my contact lens here and I'm like, oh, I gotta get saline solution out of the bottle, I would open the lid, which is another thing in and of itself that's not even on this list, to be honest with you. I use my teeth, for better, for worse, to flip hard top bottles like this open. Flip it over, put, in my right hand, because my right hand is the most effective, I'm holding it, and then I will take my cheek, my jawbone, right here, spray. Literally push, spray. Contact lens is clean, pop it in my eye. Squeeze bottles. Along the same vein, y'all, we have my adaptation for spray bottles, like hairspray, perfume, anything of that nature. Anything where, how do you do this, right? You take your finger, remember, my fingers are excruciatingly weak, and you push. I'm gonna do it, ready? Y'all, this is literally all of nothing. There's zero movement. That was legitimate effort throughout my entire arm to try and push this down. Can't do it. Cannot do it. And I am a girly girl. I use spritzes and sprays and everything all the time. So what is my solution? I was just gonna talk about it, and apparently I'm just showing you all of it now. I take this part, the meaty part of my hand, and I spray like this. That's how I do it. So this is a makeup spray, right? That's how I do it. I have to use both hands for what should be oh, that felt really good. That was nice and cold. Oh, that was nice. I have to use both hands for what should be a one-hand experience. I don't have that luxury. Spray bottles, awful. Awful. And then of course there is the totally expected one, but still wildly inconvenient nonetheless, and that is basically twist opening anything. Anything. Pickle jars, sauce jars. Don't even get me started on like bottles of water, like disposable bottles of water that you buy in like the 24 packs, right? Those lids are so small that like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that I can do that. I have an OXO jar opener that is a literal godsend because I would starve and not be able to untwist anything if I didn't have that goofy jar opener. Not kidding. For example, I, on more than one occasion, have had to, when I lived in Illinois, which is near my family, and my husband was traveling for work, all I wanted to do was paint my nails. That's all I wanted to do was paint them a very specific purple color. And I could not get the bottle of nail polish open. This is how, like, normal people would, like, pinch and twist, right? I have to grab it like this and do a full, like, to be fair, this one is not hard to open. I leave all of my stuff looser now. But, like, that's still how I have to twist it, even when it's ready to open. Like, it's not sticky. And then the worst part is, if it is starting to be a struggle, I will squeeze so hard with no success that my muscles will start to cramp in my hand, and then I hurt myself, all because I wanted to paint my nails a certain color. So, be it a pickle jar, a nail polish jar, a disposable water bottle, a water bottle that my husband closed, like a regular old big honkin', we use reusable water bottles in our house, that he closed without thinking. When we first started living together, and it took him years, right? My husband and I have been married for almost 10 years. The amount of times that lovely man of mine closed the mayonnaise jar so tightly that I could not open it, I cannot even count. I cannot even count. It took him a really long time because, again, it's something that he, as a strong, able-bodied man, took for granted, right? It's something that if you can do it, you take it for granted, but if you can't do it, it's a genuine struggle. The amount of time it took him to remember to not close the mayonnaise lid so tightly that I might not be able to open it. Let me tell you. And I don't fault him for it because A, he strives to not look at me as a disabled human being in terms of like, oh, she can't do it, she can't do it. I'm very much a, let's believe I can do it until I either tell you I can't or prove that I can't. But when it comes to opening things, let's assume that I can't, okay? But it's just not what he was used to. His entire life, he didn't have to worry about how tightly he closed the container, and with his muscular hands, it just happens to be tighter than what my hands can do to open it back up again. It's just any sort of twist top container, forget about it. I am certain that beyond the shadow of a doubt, I can probably put out at least one, if not two more videos with this exact same title and this exact same topic of everyday things that I genuinely struggle with. But for now, I want to hear from you, my fellow disabled friends. What is something that is seemingly normal and mundane in the everyday that you struggle to execute because of your disability? I would love to hear from you in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as it really does help my new channel out. If you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button to subscribe to The Disabled Diva. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.